Hello, my friends. Happy Monday. Welcome to another live episode, a live stream, a new podcast of the Salt Circle. And like every Monday, we are going to discuss shadow work, self sorcery, unlearning unhealthy behaviors that no longer serve us. And we're going to have an open, free of shame, non-judgmental, an open, discussion for anyone who wants to join. So I definitely encourage you to join in and share your thoughts, share your stories, share what you think. Definitely want to get into some taboo topics today, like codependency. You're fucking codependent. Generational dysfunction, childhood trauma, things like that. So I don't know if this is your first time tuning in, but if it is, definitely welcome. Make sure to just subscribe and check out the Discord, check out our other links and things like that to stay current on news and whatever other BS we have going on. Sorry, my dog is very needy. He's cute though, he's a puppy. But today I definitely had a bunch of stuff that I wanted to discuss, but I don't know. I find it almost difficult sometimes to really, with a webcam and streaming, you're not really talking to anyone. You're just talking to yourself and you're looking at yourself sometimes. I mean, I guess I could be looking off into the distance, but you see your reflection, you see a little preview. And it's really interesting sometimes to open up into these discussions and it just kind of go out into nowhere. And then it's just sitting with you. And I think that is just a normal part of shadow work, though, is what I call the fester. And not that festering is necessarily a good thing, and maybe I should change the name of what I call this, but you just have to sit with it. You have to sit with the thought, the being uncomfortable. You have to just sit with what is happening and not really give it a reaction, just to let it come and go, kind of like you're a mountain, the thought, the situation, the variable, the whatever is like a cloud and it's coming, it's here, it's going. You're not moving anywhere. You are this mountain and you're going to be stagnant for eons. Like this is something that is very fleeting. You have to just let it come and go. You can't keep it with you. So, I think too, some of the more necessary parts of our own healing or our own growing up or leveling up, whatever you want to call it. It's meant to be uncomfortable. It's meant to be something that feels like you're dying, you're dying, you're dying, you're dying, and then you're just better off from it. You know what I mean? So I think that while navigating codependency recovery or being no contact with dysfunctional family or handling, your own grief journey or whatever kind of recovery you're handling, on your internal journey, I think it's really important to understand and acknowledge, like, all right, this sucks. I'm just gonna sit here and fester, I guess, but not react, not really do anything, and just allow this thought, this wave of emotion, this fluctuation and current events in my life, just gonna let it come and go. And I'm just going to be this little fucking mountain, this little thing, this obelisk, this dog head. And I think when you're going through really difficult or uncomfortable times in your journey, that is, a hallmark of a milestone or a really good indication that you're on the right path. This is going to be really good for you. Keep going through. But it's also really okay to just kind of like throw your hands fucking up and scream into the sky and be like, this sucks. This is painful and I hate myself and oh my gosh, I'm so cringy and no wonder I think all these bad things, but you just have to let those come and go. You're not actually dumb or something that people shouldn't want to get to know or anything like that. You're just a little fucked up and that's okay. Everyone's a little fucked up. I think too with sitting with it, confronting these inner parts of ourselves, the shadow that we are disowning or that we're avoiding. I think not only do we have to, take time to sit with this shadow, imagine in your head, go into a place where it's a nice cozy kitchen, a little Airbnb. You have a cute little picnic table all set up, or like, a little French bistro looking fucking thing happening, and your shadow, this, whatever you want to look at it as, sit it across from you and just like you're meeting a friend once a month just to touch base. You just see them, see where they're at, and be like, okay, thanks. Thanks for sharing. I'm here for you, buddy. But I think too, the shadow shouldn't be seen as something that is like the evil part of you or the terrible part of you that just wants to be self-destructive and it's something to be feared and it's you don't know how this thing is going to react and so you're afraid of it. This is you and we have to find ways to integrate the shadow into the if you want to look at it, the light part, the outward part. And this is kind of where, psychology and zodiac frou-frou, hippie bullshit kind of intersect because in psychology, in a lot of theories, the shadow, right, the internal part, the hidden away part of you, the internal monologue that nobody knows, like the real like meat and potatoes way you interact with the world in your head. That shadow is referred to as your moon sign in zodiac lingo, and the moon as opposed to your sun sign. So I was born on October 23rd. I am a Scorpio. Whatever you were born and your sign, that's your sun sign. And that's your outward persona. That is the you that the world sees and interacts with. That is your mask, so to speak. And so that's always kind of funny when people talk shit about zodiacs or that witchy hippie blah blah blah. It's like, bro, like there is something to all of this when you look at it in a bigger picture, right? And that's why I really want this podcast streaming thing, whatever the heck it is. I really want it to be somewhere that intersects that mythological, not even like fanciful, like it's just the more metaphysical, paranormal, polytheistic maybe view of explaining certain things and smash that and create an amalgamation with psychology and statistical sciences that we've experimented with and are known facts. If we can provide you guys with, and by we I mean me and the dog, if we can provide yous with any kind of references or reading material, please let me know. I will have every intention to do that tonight when the stream is done, but I know myself and my ADHD, and I'm just not even going to set myself up for that kind of, But maybe in the future, I'll be that put together. That's a good goal. So what was I saying? Yeah, you got to sit with the shadow. You gotta sit with the shadow, right? You gotta invite that fucker over for some tea and cookies and just be like, bitch, what's up? Like, just like it's like some, half brother, or it's, someone that you're nice with, and like, just don't hate on this thing. Just meet it as if you're meeting a long lost friend. So yeah, to sit with it. It's not something that's, malevolent. It's not something that is maligned either. It's not like this terrible part that we gotta fix. We gotta get in there. We gotta fix all your bullshit, all that shit that you got on. We gotta fix that. No, it's not that at all. I think too with shadow work, it's also mourning parts of you, when you come to certain realizations and you come to certain reconciliations about things that have happened and how they've impacted you, or what the truth of the matter is. I always say, at least for me, it's very hard for me to level with people and open up with people, and like, just like, I don't even know how to talk to people sometimes, because I'm too, I don't even know what to say, because I'm gonna trauma dump, and I don't mean to, or, like, I'm just gonna be real and end up saying something that is so just just so tismed out. Just, oh my gosh, the things I can't. I cringe at myself when I think about myself. But sorry, I forgot what I was saying. Between, I don't know, the dog, it's hot, I'm twirling this thing, and then I didn't want to say the word autism, but it's not like a slur or anything, but like, watch me get banned or something. Anyway, to see, it's always hard for me when I get into like the meat and potatoes. My brain automatically just like starts fritzing out, and it's just like, no, we don't. 404 error, bitch. Restart and try again next week. But to for me to like level with people about, just real life, or just like my experiences, or where I'm at, like, in the day. Um I never know what to say, because, these are individuals who, they don't have the same shadow work to go through, or they don't have the same experiences that have shaped them. Um, and it's almost, you have to, as someone who is performing shadow work, and who is examining themselves in a really deep way, that's almost, like a third party, like an outsider with no particular interest in the matter. It's almost like you have to like really reconcile, like, that this person that you're trying to relate with, or like, this group of people that I'm interacting with, they have a very similar baseline of, how they grew up, what their, societal expectations were, or, whatever the case may be, with some, variables thrown in. And then to come into that kind of dynamic and being like, I've been in fight or flight since I was first conceived, and I never knew my parents, and I lived in a tree, and I was raised by wolves, and I didn't go to school until the president found me on a mission trip, because there was no like, fucking, the pothole machine wouldn't work. I don't know, like, whatever your tragic backstory is, right? To kind of like put that up against people that like don't have like something that they are recovering from, or some, fucking like neurotic mental issue that is keeping them from functioning normally. Because, when you go through childhood trauma, or you go through a lot of dysfunction when you're growing up, and you're worrying more about surviving than you are doing hobbies or playing fun sports after school or whatever. When you're really in that kind of mode for your formative years, you're not given those opportunities to kind of develop in a way that other kids really benefit from. So when you come up against, those kids or that group of people that have benefited from not having to worry about where their next meal came from, or they didn't have to worry about like an alcoholic parent, hitting them, or, even worse, like living in squalor because the parents, or there are no parent, there are so many situations that, can really force a child into that survival mode, or that, hypervigilance to walk on eggshells and really worry about how everyone else is feeling, to try to make sure there aren't arguments, or, you got to police what's happening because you got to make sure there's enough fucking, bus money to get your little kid to go to school, like your kid's sister, or else CPS is going to come and your parents don't care. What, to have to go through that kind of stuff at a young age, it really shifts what your brain is able to expend its energy on. So to kind of mourn that, I think, is a very real part. So like, you meet your shadow, you invite that fucker in, like, come on, let's sit down, let's catch up, but I gotta go in like an hour. Make a boundary, be like, I'll give you some time, let's hang out. And then if that fucker just starts sobbing in your kitchenette, just be like, there. You have to kind of, I think, allow yourself to feel, sorry for yourself, and really see the truth of it. See, like, damn, like, other people haven't had to go through this XYZ situation, which has altered the way I'm able to function. And now I'm comparing myself to people that have, and you're automatically going to set yourself up for disaster and failure when you kind of put yourself up like that. So it's not to compare yourself, and it's not to like look at other people like, oh, they have it so much better than me, like, oh, dee, like, woe is me, I'm such a victim. It's just to kind of really see the situation, see everything that happened, and just see the truth of it. For example, my mother is Colombian, right? She immigrated to America when she was like 15 or 16 or something. I honestly don't really know, because I don't even know how to explain it. I really don't even know how to explain it, dude. It's not even no contact. It's more insane than no contact. Like, but it's so irrational. And I know that. And I know that I have a part in that. So, like, excuse me. I get my tummy gets a little bubbly when I get, like, worked up. Because my emotions create, like, a physical effect on me. They come for me like I owe them money. Like, my emotions are like, nah, bitch. We're gonna fucking woof. But yeah, my mother is Colombian, and for the first 7, 8 years, I think, I lived predominantly with her and her mother, her aunt, and I think her uncle or cousin. I honestly don't know who that man was, but whatever. We're just going to gloss over the fact that there were two. Whatever. Whatever. There's a lot of mysteries. And I think just like touching upon those, those sealed windows, that it's like there's a room back there. There's all these like things that I want to explore behind this like really dilapidated, splintery, fucked up, tetanus-filled window, but it's jammed. I can't open it, but I want to get into what's behind it. Like, we can't. We're just gonna see it. There's more shit there. All right, I see it. I acknowledge it, but we got to keep it pushing, because we can't fixate. We can't try to understand everything. And even if we understood everything, what is that gonna do? What is that gonna do? Who cares? Who cares? And I think too, like, wanting to know everything, or obsessing over having all the information, every outlook, every perspective, every piece of closure from every person you can, that's also a way of, I think, avoiding how you truly feel about it and how you are like honestly, genuinely affected by it. You're fixating more on facts and figures than going inward to understand these pieces of knowledge on a fundamental primal level. I think it's also a way kind of to dissociate. You're not really in reality, you're just obsessed. But anyway, before I get sidetracked, yeah, my mother, Colombian, lived with her, but she never taught me Spanish. Her mom never taught me Spanish. Her aunt, and like, aren't like Spanish women like really close to each other and like close to baby? Like, I don't know. I don't know. And I can take it in that she didn't fucking like me. It's because I was a C-section and I weighed 11 pounds, so they had to remove me, and like it was a really traumatic situation because she was an immigrant and like all this stuff. She didn't like speak English, so she didn't really know what was happening, and like all this, from what I've been told too, not even by her, just by, other people who are in the periphery of the situation. So I can extrapolate and investigate, ruminate. I can say that, oh, I'm inductively, deductively, inductive reasoning. What? No, you're not. You're not. You are torturing yourself. Allow it for what it is. Like, my mom did not want to teach me her mother tongue. Like, she did not. I don't know. I only know Spanish, but a little bit. Like, I can understand it for the most part. And I feel like if I was just dropped off in a Spanish-speaking country, I might be all right. Like, I could probably figure how to get to the beach or the library. But I've always, first off, realized how, from like a financial or professional standpoint, it would be really beneficial to be bilingual. Like, I can't even. I can't even. Um, and then just to be like connected to her culture, her as a person, my heritage. That would be nice. But I guess, and this might be a rumination, that might be really kind of pointless, but like, I guess she didn't want to connect me in that way. And I remember a lot of when I was little and living with her and her mom and her aunt, there was a lot of me just trying to figure out what they were saying. Because as soon as like I would come into the kitchen, they'd all just stop talking. Or, learning Spanish a little bit from like watching some of like Telemundo and all those big booty bitches they'd have running around. Like, oh my gosh, no wonder my mother was so self-conscious. Like, it just like things piece together, especially when you look at it from a far off perspective. But like obsessing and trying to figure out and place names and understand blame of, well, she did this because of this and that, da, 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 and so it's her fault. Like, no, we have an entire human, her mother, and that mother's sister. Like, we had a little triarchy of females that immigrated to a new country during like a civil war. I don't even know the full story. I don't know. I have no idea if they came because like we'll get into it later. But no, I think I know why they came. I don't care. Um And whatever happened before I was born, whatever happened before they came to America, it all culminated into their position, their perspective, their socioeconomic status, like everything that they went through kind of led them to where they were. And if they weren't able to function in a way that I might have wanted or I might have expected, or people might have condemned them for not doing, it's like, yeah, I get that, but whatever they went through, to just kind of also acknowledge that. And I think that's a part of the shadow that we should sit with is, everything that everyone has ever done to me that has been a fucking traumatic memory or some kind of terrible formative fucking moment in my life. Every one of those people is also a complex individual with their own shadow, their own childhood, and their own dysfunctions. I'm sure, nobody comes onto this planet unscathed. No one grows up completely, without any, tarnish. Like we all go through it in some way. Um, and to really just understand it from a place where you're not placing blame, you're just meeting the situation and you're just kind of like flying through it, or you're just letting the situation fly past you like you're the mountain and it's the clouds, I think is really important for shadow work. It's really emotional stuff that we think about, so it's really hard to not get like angry and galvanated and wanting revenge or needing closure or having to say something. But that's just, your nervous system and your body trying to revolt. Every atom in you is just so upset. So, and it's going to sound stupid, and I promise I'm not patronizing you, but just shake, dance, wiggle your body, or just scream. It's okay. But, I think it's important to go through, especially like I was saying earlier, the more uncomfortable it is, the more, even painful it is. I think that's a really good way to tell how important that piece of shadow work can be. And, you could always come back to it. So I think that might be time. I might make another live episode. I actually have the ability now to go live on my phone. And I might take that up more often, because more often than not, I think of really good ideas, but never usually at the time that I need to. So definitely subscribe, like, follow, all that good stuff if you enjoy hearing me chit chat. But I would really like to see if anyone was, commenting or wanting to discuss anything in particular. So I'm just going to check the chat rooms really quickly and see if anyone is in there. And what do you know, Oni, Zilla? And yes, okay. Oh, cool, we got some people. Hello, my friends. Yeah, so so definitely want you guys to take in what I said. If you hate it or if you can practically use it, definitely let me know. Um and it's not anything you have to be afraid of. I can't stress that enough. Certain thoughts you might feel like it's there hallmarks of that you're a terrible person, or that you are undeserving of love, or this is a great example of why my father left me and my mother, whatever. But those feelings are not facts, and I think those feelings are things that we just need to allow to really bubble forth. And we have to just let those thoughts come to the surface and, stop pushing them down and just like let them come up and be like, okay, I hear you, I see you, and I release you to go fuck off somewhere else. Like, the more we suppress things, the more things really are going to get stuck in us. And maybe that's something I can talk about. See, I got to write these ideas down. Maybe that's something I can talk about in the future is, how stress or how trauma can really get stored in the body. And by just even talking about it is really beneficial and can really, be a good exercise for shadow work and for meeting that shadow that you have in there. Hopefully we will meet again, and you come and hang out with me on Wednesday. Wednesdays, we discuss death, dying, and bereavement from a place where psychology and paganism intersect, like always. I've been really trying to do an episode about ceremony. And I think I can do it. I think I got it. Last week I completely just dropped the turd because I couldn't fucking hold it together. I couldn't clench like that. So that's why there was no episode last week, and I do apologize. But that's kind of why I was trying to fill up with more, little YouTube short videos or whatever they're called. So check those out too. Either way, my friendships, thank you for watching. This helps me, and I hope it helps you. I hope that you come and join us again, Wednesday or next week for another episode of The Salt Circle. Definitely would love it if you checked out the Discord, checked out the Instagram, and checked out the TikTok. There's also a Kick and a YouTube as well. I think that's it. I could be wrong, but whatever. I'm sure I'll see you guys again. But for right now, I'm just going to decompress, and I'm really going to focus on where I'm at in my physical body. And I'm going to blow out these candles. I'm also going to put on a song so we could all, vibe out, because I feel like when even if we're not doing shadow work, just talking about doing it can kind of make our heart rate go up and make us, get a little sweatier and stinkier than usual, because our bodies are like, oh no, I don't want to open up that. I don't want to deal with that bullshit. I keep that way down. I keep that locked away. I got to move some boxes if you want to get to that shit. I'm not up for that. I got a schedule. It's okay. We're going to calm ourselves down, but I appreciate yous and I believe in yous. And I really, 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 really do hope you have a good night or a good morning or, whatever it is where you are, my friends. All right. So for this piece, I guess, you can just do it with me. Wherever you are right now, doesn't matter. I want you to really, every single breath you take, I want it to be a really deliberate kind of, you hold, you breathe. It's always just breathing in. I want you to breathe in as much as you can. Like right now I'm talking, but all I'm doing is breathing in. There's nothing coming out. And then I want you to breathe out as hard as you can through your nose. And really think about how your back feels. Is your spine stacked on top of itself? Where are your shoulders? Push out all those boogers. If you got a lot of boogers, I guess you could, also breathe out your mouth like I am. It's fine. Crack your back, crack your shoulders, move your neck. But I really want you to focus on breathing. Where's your ass? Feel where your ass is. Both cheeks. What about your feet? I bet your feet are sore. I bet they are. Really breathe and put yourself back in your body, okay? All right, we're going to put on some music for a few minutes. Very nice. Very good, my friends. How does that feel? Do you feel any different? Definitely let me know back. And with that, let's just go off into another night or morning, depending what time it is. And thanks for stopping by the Salt Circle. Goodbye, my friends.